the halo, you can call it the halo. This shows Buddha's enlightenment. Okay. In Thailand, have you seen a Buddhist flag? Have you seen Buddhist flag in Thailand? Where there are 5 colors, blue, red, orange, yellow, and so they say like this comes from this Buddha's halo. So this is it. Okay. So please remember when you see Buddha statues, so this is the wisdom part, this is the third eye, and Buddha usually will have long ears. That shows he's one of his a sign of a great man. Okay. Okay, next. So I'm going to take you on a journey of Buddha's life, and we'll try to learn something about Buddha. Okay, next. Okay, how many of you know this guy here? You know who is this guy? He's a very famous Nobel laureate. He's Nobel Peace Prize winner. Anyone? Okay, he is the Dalai Lama. Okay, he's called the Dalai Lama. He's the head of Tibetan people in India. So he says very interesting, which I'd like to quote, and we all try to follow this. Don't try to use what you learn from Buddhism to be a Buddhist. Use it to be a better whatever you already are. So the biggest problem today in the world is that people are trying to be religionists. They try to be Buddhists, they try to be Hindu, they try to be Christians, and they fight in the name of religion. So Dalai Lama says, you don't try to use what you learn from Buddhism to be a good Buddhist, but try to use it to be better than whatever you already are. Okay? How many of you think you are good enough? How many of you think you're not good enough? Really? Okay, how many of you think you are beautiful enough? Or handsome enough for the men? For the guys, girls? How many of you think you're not beautiful enough? Oh, come on. Okay, anyway. So, you try to be better than what you are. So in 5 days, I'd like all of you to go back better than what you are already. So less angry, less frustrated, less shy. How many of you are very shy? You feel very shy to stand up and say some things. How many of you? Oh, not many. Just the 2 of you? 2 of you. No, not you guys. Not at all. Okay. So whatever you learn in these 5 days about Buddha's teachings, you will try to use it to be better than whatever you already are. Okay? So that is what. And okay. You know this guy? Albert Einstein, who knows? Who is he? Who was he? Who was he? He was the father of modern science, or whatever they call him. Albert Einstein was a scientist. What was his discovery? Do you know? Yes? Huh? Discovery? Pi. Sorry? Pi? Ah, pi. Okay, that pi. I thought pi. There are so many pies. Yes. Sorry. E is equal to mc square. What does that stand for? Yeah, something like that, okay? Anyway, he was a great scientist, and he used to read a lot of books about religion and things like that. So he says, if there's any religion that would cope with modern scientific needs, it would be Buddhism. Okay. Buddhism is all like science because we try to analyze everything. We try to experiment everything. It's not like You just believe whatever is there. Okay. You must have seen people in Thailand. They do a lot of worshipping to Buddha. Have you seen? People do a lot of worshipping in India, like everywhere. Like people worship the tree, people worship the rocks, people worship the mountains. Okay, because in India they believe that there is a God in everything. For example, this whiteboard, there's a God in it. There's a chair, there's a God in it. There's a rock, there's a God in it. Okay, so in India we believe that there's a God in everything. So there is a festival in India where people worship all the articles that they have because they consider it as a god or something. Okay, so anyway, this guy, he used to study a lot about religion, and he felt like Buddhism was very keen to science because Buddhism also teaches you how to analyze things. You can experiment for yourself, then only you can accept. In Buddhism there is no acceptance or there is no belief system. Okay, if someone tells you in Buddhism, if you do this you go to hell, you don't have to believe it. Okay, you can look for yourself, you can experiment by yourself and see if it works or not works for you. Okay, so that is what Albert Einstein says. Okay, come and see. If you go by any religion, normally what they say is, come and believe. Come and believe. Okay, so there's a lot of belief systems. I see also in Thailand, in other religion also, there's a lot of belief systems. What is the famous statue of Brahma that you have somewhere where people go and worship? No, near one of these big shopping malls, you have this big statues. One statue is of Ganesh. You know, this elephant god. Central World, yes. What is the other statue? One is elephant god, right? And then there is another one with 4 heads. Have you seen the 4-head gods? Oh, it's everywhere in Thailand. I mean, it's many places. You haven't seen? A lot of people from Singapore, they come to actually worship this statue in Thailand. Once, many years back, not many years back, couple of years back, it was broken down by someone. And then they rebuilt it again. Okay? So these are beliefs. These are beliefs. So Buddha says, don't believe, come and see. So Buddha's teaching is something that you go and see. You see for yourself if it works, not works. Okay? For example, Buddhism is always a question of knowing and seeing and not that of believing. So in Buddhism, there is nothing to believe. You go and see for yourself. The teaching of the Buddha is qualified as ehipassiko, inviting you to come and see, but not to come and believe. So this word, ehipassiko, means you go and see. Okay? For example, in maths, you have these formulas, right? If you know the formula, you can solve any problem. You don't know the formula, you cannot solve it. Like that, in Buddha's teachings, you can go see, experiment for yourself. If you meditate, if you feel more calm, more quiet, more focused, then only you can believe it. But if someone says you meditate, you will get this, you will get that, you don't have to believe it because you don't experiment for yourself. So only when you experiment and you see it's working, then you believe. Okay? So come and see. It's very popular in Buddhism. It's called ehipassiko in the Buddhist language, which means come and see. Okay? Okay. So we have here a list of Buddha was born somewhere in 623 BC. In Buddhist calendar, it is 2,558 years. This is about 1 year back. So he was born in a place called Lumbini. You know where Lumbini is? How many of you know where Lumbini is? Yes, where? Huh? Sorry? Yeah, Nepal, modern day Nepal. So Buddha was actually born in Nepal. So if you go to Nepal and tell the Nepalese Buddha was born in India, they'll get very angry. Yeah, you have to say Buddha was born in Nepal in a place called Lumbini Park. Actually, Buddha was born in a park, not in a room or not in the hospital. He was born under a tree in a park, beautiful park. It is called Lumbini Park. It is in present-day Nepal. Okay. Any one of you have been to Lumbini? Oh, no wonder you know this. Okay, when did you visit? 3 years ago with your parents? Okay, good. Okay, so if any one of you wants to go on a Buddhist pilgrimage, what they do pilgrimage, then Lumbini is a place in Nepal where the Buddha was born. Okay, and Buddha's father name was King Suddhodana of the aristocratic Sakyan clan. Now, if you go to Nepal, the original Buddhists in Nepal are called Sakyas. Okay, Sakyan. It's a name of a clan. It's called Sakyan clan. Okay, and the mother's name was Queen Mahamaya Devi. And they say Buddha's mother dies exactly 1 week after the Buddha is born. Okay, so most of the Buddhas, in the history of all the Buddhas, you will find that the mother of Buddha dies 1 week after the Buddha is born. Okay, then her sister Mahapajapati Gautami, she take care of her baby. I took care of Buddha. Okay, and there is a king's tutor. I'll tell you this story later on. Here, the famous tutor, his name is Asita, and Buddha married at the age of 16. Okay. How many of you are 16? Anyone 16? At your age, Buddha got already married. In those days, like people used to get married very early. So Buddha's name was at that time called Siddhartha. He married at the age of 16, and his wife's name was called Princess Yashodhara. Okay, Princess Yashodhara, and they had a son called Rahula. Okay, so Buddha's son was called Rahula. And before he became a Buddha, he saw 4 sides. He saw an old man, a sick man, dead man, and a monk. Have you seen an old man? What do you feel when you see an old man or old women? Nothing. You're right. Absolutely. This is what I want to hear. You see an old man, you see an old man, and you just walk away, right? If you see old women, it's old women. You don't even pay attention to. You just look and just go, right? But Buddha didn't do that. He saw an old man, and his mind changed. He saw a sick man. Have you seen a sick man? What do you feel when somebody is sick? Do you feel something? How many of you have been to hospital, like really sick and admitted? You were? For what? Gastroenteritis? Yeah? You had a lot of gas in the stomach? Ulcers? Oh, appendix. Yeah, that's very painful. You had operation? Yeah. Appendix needs to be operated. Okay, when you were in the hospital, was it nice? No. The smell is not so nice. And the people who are sick around you are not so nice. They don't look happy at all. So that's where when Buddha saw a sick man, his mind changed. Okay? So, and then Buddha saw a dead man. Have you seen a dead man? Where? In Thailand, it's very interesting because recently my father-in-law died, and they put his body in the monastery, and they do the last rituals and the last rite in the monastery, right, in Thailand? In our place, we do it at home. In Thailand, you do it in the monastery. So that's where I saw a dead man. So when you see a dead man, what do you feel? Yeah, it depends very much on who it is. Okay. Why regret? Okay. All right. How many of you had an experience where some of your relatives died and you feel very sorry? Yes? Who? Grandma's sister died. Okay. You? Grandma. Younger sister. Okay. And then the Buddha renounced. This is called renunciation. What do you mean by renunciation? Renunciation is to give up everything. You know, he was a prince, he was a king, he left everything, his palace and everything, and he went away in search of truth. And that is called renunciation. That is called renunciation. So he renounced the world at the age of 29. So at the age of 29, he left the palace, he left all his luxury, and he went in search of, he became a monk basically. Right? In Thailand, you have a very rich culture of Buddhist monks. Have you, any one of you, been a monk for some time? You've been a monk already? You want to be? You have been a monk? No. You? For how long? 1 month. Oh. So you shave your hair and you go for begging? Did people give you enough food to eat? No. So how did you manage? You eat mama? So you survived on mama? Oh my gosh. What about dinner? You don't eat dinner, right? So you had mama dinner. Oh. Huh? Mama. Oh, famous mama. Okay, so how was the schedule from morning till evening? A lot of chanting, and then? Okay, and then? And classes? Okay, very interesting. Do you want to be monk for life? Why? Why? I've been a monk for 3 years. Yeah, I was a novice for 3 years. But in India, we don't have this tradition of begging because we do, but in my monastery, it was not popular. So we had food in the monastery, but I understand before 12, we had to finish everything, lunch and everything. And after 12, we don't get to eat anything. So I used to eat rice soup in the evening because I had some problem with my stomach, you know. But anyway, my life as a monk for 3 years was one of the most interesting life I've had. I meditated, I did lots of interesting things and all that. Yeah? How anybody wants to be monk in your life? No one. It's the best life you can have, you know. You don't have to study, you don't have to work, money, nothing, right? You don't want? Any girls want to be nuns like this nun here? You want to? You want to be a nun? Oh, not for life. For how long you want to be? 2 years? Oh, nice. I think you should all try an experiment. Live like a nun's and monk's life for a short time. Maybe, who knows, you will be monk or nun for life. Would you like to? Why? Okay. Would you like to be nun? Why not? Sorry? Oh, you want to work and, you know, live a normal life? Okay. All right. So Buddha saw this monk and his mind changed. You know, he saw this monk and then suddenly his mind changed. Have you seen monks? Of course, you have offered maybe some things to the monk. What do you feel? Nothing special? Nothing? What do you feel? Get inspired to be a monk? Okay, respect. Yes. How many of you respect monks? Why? Why do you respect monks? Why? I don't know. Okay, interesting. All right. So this is what Buddha saw: an old man, a sick man, dead man, and a monk. These four experiences changed his mind, his mindset, and that's why he renounced everything. He left everything of his palace, his kingly life, and he went in search of truth. He went in search of truth, and that is what the Buddha did. Okay. And he renounced at the age of, he renounced at the age of 29, and he went to two teachers, very famous teachers in India of those days, Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. Then at the age of 35, he became enlightened. How many of you know this word enlightenment? Okay, what is enlightenment? You forgot. Okay, what is enlightenment? Knowing the truth. Okay, very good. What is enlightenment? Having some stuff hanging on the head, some halos, right? Some colors coming out. Very good. Yeah. What is enlightenment for you? You don't know? Have you heard this word enlightenment? No? Okay. What about you? Enlightenment. Okay, life cycle. Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Okay. What about you? What is enlightenment for you? Don't know? Have you heard this word before? No? Okay. So, all of you, this is a new word for you, maybe for some of you. Enlightenment means, it comes from the word light. You know light? When do we need light? When it's exactly. Okay. So enlightenment means person who enlightens his life with this understanding that life is basically nothing but just an empty pot. Okay. Okay. If I ask you until now, have you really enjoyed your life? How many of you think like when you look back to your life of say you're 13 or 12 or 11, you look back to your life and oh my gosh, what a life I've lived. Can you say this? No, up till now. Up till now. Normal life, quite happy? Satisfied? Yeah. How many of you are satisfied until now? Everything is okay, all right. Not many of you. Okay. So enlightenment is someone who understands the reality of life and becomes enlightened. Okay, he becomes a Buddha or whatever we call it. Okay. So Buddha became enlightened. That means no attachment at all. When somebody becomes enlightened, there's no attachment. Okay, if I ask you, what is your biggest attachment? You know attachment? You are attached to, yeah. Like you're attached to your parents, you're attached to your family, you're attached to your teacher or whatever it is. Are you attached to your parents? Okay, how many of you are missing your parents? Now. Only 2, 3. The rest of you have forgotten your parents? Okay. So, okay, now Buddhas, enlightened people have no attachment to their family, to their children, or to their things or whatever. They don't have any attachment. So that is what we call enlightened people. Okay? Okay, and then he died at the age of 80. Buddha passed away at the age of 80. We don't say passed away. We in Buddhist traditions, we call it parinibbana. Okay? So, Buddha passed away at the age of 80, they say, but it's not exactly the dates. There is always a controversy of Buddha's birth and the death. Okay? But most scholarly people accept this age of 80 when the Buddha died. Okay? But it depends on how you count the calendars. For example, in my tradition, If I'm 47 today, according to my calendar, I should be 48 because they also count my age in the mother's womb. Okay? So that is called the first stage, and then it goes to 2, 3. So according to my calendar, I should be 48, though I'm 47. Right? Okay. All right. So this is a very famous story of this ascetic. You know what an ascetic is? Maybe we'll write this word for you. Is it? You know, ascetic means what? Ascetic. Ascetic. Sorry? Where something takes place. Ascetic. Okay, this is a new word for you. Ascetic. Yeah. Sorry? Not static. Ascetic. Yeah. No. Okay, I can you write it down? Spelling gives you that. Okay, I can write it down for you. Ascetic. Ascetic. Okay? Now, ascetic are people who actually spend their time, they are like monks, but they are more like living in extreme conditions, like in the Himalayas, in the forest, in the jungles. Okay? These guys are called ascetics. They mostly spend their time meditating or, in spiritual quests and things like that. So they are called ascetics. In Thailand, if monks who live in the forest, have you seen a monk who live in the forest in Thailand? Yes? No? In Thailand, you have this tradition, monks who only live in the forest, they don't live in the cities. Okay? The people who live in the forest or monks who live in the Himalayan region or the mountains or caves, they're called ascetics. Okay? So, this is a story of this ascetic who, as I told you, who has psychic power. Okay? So this guy, he's lying down here. He is a very famous ascetic. We call him Sumedha. Okay? Now, our Buddha story goes back to many years, in years and years. We call it aeons, which means many years back. Incalculable number of years, there was this ascetic, and he used to live in the caves in the mountain, and then he used to fly from the sky and go for begging for food. Okay, for alms round, he used to fly from the sky and he used to go begging for food. One day, as he was like flying from the sky and going for food, he saw all these people are cleaning the area to welcome the Buddha, this Buddha. So people were cleaning the streets and washing these places and preparing to welcome this Buddha. Suddenly, this ascetic, when he was flying, he saw all the people very busy. So he starts, hey, what are these guys doing? So he comes down and he asks these people, hey, what are you doing? Who is going to visit this place? Why are you cleaning this area? Then these people told him, oh, the Buddha is going to come, so we are going to welcome him, so we are cleaning this place. So then he said, he felt like I should also do something because Buddha is a great man, so I will have a chance to serve him. So he asked, can I also do something? So these people thought, give him the most difficult task because he has power, he will use his power and do things very easily. So they asked him to fill this gap of the road, which is broken, to fill this gap. So he thought he looked at this place and he thought I can use my power and then fill up this gap very easily. But then he thought, oh, the great Buddha is coming. So why should I use my power, which is nothing in front of this great Buddha? So he decides to use his labor, his hands and everything and work. So he started filling this road by using his labor without using his power. And suddenly the Buddha comes. And by the time Buddha comes, he was not finished with his work. So he quickly put his body as a bridge between these two roads. And he told the Buddha, please walk over my body and cross to the other side of the road. And when the Buddha saw this man, this Buddha, when he saw this man, He was very impressed by his dedication, his commitment. He said, "Oh, this guy is a great man." So he looks at this Buddha, this ascetic looks at this Buddha, and he thinks, "I also want to be like him." Okay, he makes a very strong aspiration that I want to be like him. So the moment he says, "I want to be like you," the Buddha sees his life many, many years later that he will also become like Buddha, like him. So this is the ascetic Sumedha who later, after many, 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 many years, becomes our Buddha. Okay, so the Buddha you see behind our screen, our Buddha today is this ascetic guy who was once upon a time an ascetic who took vow in this Buddha who is called Dipankara Buddha, and he prophesies that he will be the future Buddha. So that's the story. So our Buddha story begins with Dipankara. Have you studied this in when you were a monk? No? So the Buddha of our Buddha story goes back to this ascetic whose name was Sumedha. Whose name was Sumedha. Okay. So Sumedha's story is actually the story of our present day Buddha who became a Buddha later on after many years. Okay. Uh, so you can see when Buddha comes, there are a lot of monks here, and all these people are. And if you look at this girl, this is the wife of this Sumedha, who later became Buddha's wife, Princess Yashodhara. Okay, so this is the wife of Sumedha. When she saw this man that he's going to be the future Buddha, she makes a very strong vow and says, "Well, until and unless he becomes enlightened, I will be his wife." So for generations, for many, many lifetimes, she became his wife all the time. And that's how we say in Buddhism that we always meet the person we are connected from many, many years, many, many lives. For example, if you look at your parents, why you are born in your family, we say you have a karmic connection. So that karmic connection is also, they both had this karmic connection. And that's how he becomes the Buddha, she becomes Princess Yashodhara, and they were married before he became enlightened. Okay, so that is the story. Okay, we can skip this slide. Okay, now this is a very famous painting. In Buddhist tradition, we say that before our Buddha becomes a Buddha, he is reborn in one heaven. Okay, so this is showing our Buddha in heaven, Tushita heaven. Okay, so this is where he lives like this is the dress that he wears as a god. So this is like a goddess or god's dress. Before he is reborn as a human, he is born in the heavenly world. So this shows the heaven. Okay, all right. And this is the dream of Queen Mahamaya Devi. Before Buddha was born, her mother had a dream, that a white elephant comes with a white lotus and goes around her bed 3 times, and then the elephant goes into her mother's womb and disappears. Okay, so try to listen carefully because I'm going to do some activity based on this one. Okay, she has a dream that she sees that in her dream, 4 goddess comes, take her from the bed, and takes her to the Himalayan mountain into a beautiful lake, gives her a bath in the lake, and then clothes her in the heavenly dress and brings her down to the human world again, puts her on the bed. That is what she dreams. Next morning, she goes and tells the king, I had a very strange dream. I was carried away by the 4 devas into the lake, given a bath, and brought down. What could be the meaning of this dream? And then the expert people says that she conceived a baby. Okay, or you guys must understand that before Buddha was born, his mother and father never had baby for last 20 years. They were married for 20 years, never had a baby. So they were all the time praying, when can we have a baby? When can we have a baby? And finally, one day, after all these rituals, she conceived a baby with this dream. And that's when Buddha was conceived in the mother's womb. Okay. Okay, so this is the birth of the Buddha in Lumbini. Okay, have you seen this statue in Lumbini? Yeah? You know, they say like after Buddha was born, he walked 7 steps and under each step there was a lotus flower. And they said like he walked in all the 4 directions, north, east, west, and south. And in each direction, wherever he walked, he had one lotus flower under his feet. You know, it's grew up, something like that. And if you look at the lady, the mother is holding the branch of a tree. Okay. And when she was giving birth, many people in India, they say that the Buddha was born from the armpit. You know armpit? You know armpit, right? Okay. So because she's holding the branch like this, they say that the baby was born from our armpit, not like normal humans. But that is only a belief. You don't have to believe. But Buddha, for me, as I understand, he was born normal, like a normal human being. So you can see famous Buddhas, he always used to, after he was born, he raised his finger like this. And it is said that he said, this is my last birth. Okay, this is my last birth. After this, I'm not going to be reborn again in this samsara. Okay, so Buddhas go out of this samsara, and this is his last birth. Okay, so that shows Lumbini. And this is the king's tutor. They say like the baby when he was born, famous ascetic from the Himalaya came to see the baby because he knew that the Buddha is born. Okay, so when he came to see the baby, when the father showed the baby to this ascetic, the baby turned his leg and put his leg on the teacher's ascetic's head. Okay, and the ascetic, he had 2 expressions. First, he smiled looking at the baby. He was very happy. And secondly, he cried looking at the baby. The father was shocked. He said, like, why you're like, I can understand you're smiling, looking at my baby, but why did you cry looking at my baby? He says, like, I'm old and I would not live long to get the teachings from your son who is going to be the Buddha. So he was very sad that he's going to die soon and he will not be able to get his teachings, and that is why he cried. And he was very happy because he knew immediately, instantly he knew he's going to be the Buddha. Okay? All right. Okay. Before we continue, let's do one activity. Everybody seems to be like dreaming. Where am I going? How many of you are dreaming like, oh, Buddha is going and Buddha is coming, Buddha is born. Okay. Buddha is dead, you know. Okay, all of you. I will say 1 and you will clap. I'll say 2. Okay, you will snap your fingers. I'll say 3 and you will clap. So which means when I say odd numbers, you will clap. When I say even numbers, you will snap your fingers. Okay, if you make a mistake, you will come here and do something. Punishment. Okay, 1. Okay, 1. She's already like, okay, 1, 2, yes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1. Everybody's okay. 2, 4, 4. Okay, 1. Focus, okay? 1, 3, 5, 6, 4. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 1, 6, 8, 4. Okay, again, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we'll reverse. Now you will clap on even numbers and snap on odd numbers. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 3. Everybody is lost. 3. Okay, what to do now? Okay, 1. Okay, 1, 3. Okay, now real punishment. Okay, if you make a mistake, you come here and do something. Okay, are you ready? Okay, odd numbers you now we'll change again. Okay, even numbers you clap, odd numbers you don't do, you snap your fingers. Okay. Okay, 1. Odd number snap your fingers. Even number you clap. Okay, 2. 1. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now serious. Now serious. Okay. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay, one last chance. Okay. One last chance. 9, 7, 6, 5. Who is that? 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1. Okay, switch. Odd number clap. Huh? Okay. Now odd number, final. Odd number clap, even number snap your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why is it so easy when I say it like in serial wise, and the moment I like, you get confused? Why? Yes, it's a pattern, and we are so slave to pattern. Everything is pattern, pattern, pattern. Okay, so you have to use your mind a little bit. Okay, all right, let's move on a little bit. Okay, so this is the king's tutor, Asita, and this is the naming ceremony. Buddha was named Siddhartha. Okay, this boy was named Siddhartha. Do you know that the Buddha's name before he became Buddha was named Siddhartha? How many of you know Siddhartha? Oh, very, very good. What do you mean? What is the meaning of Siddhartha? Yes? Perfect. Hey, she's smart, you see. Okay, Siddhartha means wish fulfilled. Siddhartha means wish fulfilled. So if you want to, is it a common name in Thailand to call someone Siddhartha? No? You don't get names like Siddhartha, right? In Thailand, you have very funny names, you know. My wife's name is Ant, and my brother-in-law name is Air, and another brother-in-law name is Earth. So Air, Earth, Ant. Now, fire is missing. That's me. Okay, like in my place, people ask me, hey, what's your wife's name? And I always tell them like, Temok Butik. Temok Butik is like ant in my language. Hmm? So in Thailand, you use more nicknames, right? You have a nickname? What's your nickname? Shogun. What's your full name? Kongkap. Oh, that's a very easy name. Kongkap. You know my wife's name? Sirikant Sirisumbun. My gosh, what a long name. It's Sirikant Sirisumbun. What's your nickname? You don't have a nickname. What are they? Beatus Chan? Venus Chan. What's your name? Nickname? What's your name? Winnie Kate. Winning Ken. What's your nickname? Fire. Phi. What does that phi means? Yeah, fine. Phi. Okay, so you have to call you Phi. What's your nickname? Dean. Dean. Even that I can't pronounce. Dean. Dean. Okay, what's your nickname? Boom. Boom. What's your nickname? Lydia. Oh, that's Lydia Chan. Okay. Anyway, Siddhartha's name is wish fulfilling. Okay, wish fulfilled or wish fulfilling. So his name was. Okay, do you know this story? Who knows this story? Can you tell me the story? Can you come and tell the story? Who can tell the story? You can tell the story. Why not? You can tell the story. Sort of. Try. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is a very famous story of the Buddha. Okay, please listen everyone carefully. So this is Buddha and this is his cousin we call Devadatta. Okay, Devadatta. You know the story of Devadatta? Devadatta was one of the most evil person in the life of Buddha who remained his enemy for the rest of his lives. And even when the Buddha passed away, he died earlier than Buddha. He went to hell. That's what they say, yes? Yeah, it is said like, when at the end of his life, he got very sad. He felt sorry that he was against Buddha all his life. And suddenly when he realized that he went to say sorry to Buddha, but before he reached the Buddha, the earth opened. There was an earthquake. The earth opened and he was swallowed by the earth. And they say, according to Buddhist myths, they say that he's still in hell, which is the lowest form of hell. It's called Avicii hell. So, you know hell, right? Even in the hell, there are like first grade hell, second grade hell, third grade hell. Like you guys are in 8th grade hell. Yes? How many of you are 8th grade hell? If you don't like your school, you are in hell, no? If you like school, then it's okay. But if you don't like school, then your school is hell. For how many of you, school is hell for you? You see this hell number 1, hell number 2. Okay, so the story goes like this. This guy, they were playing in the garden, and then those days, you don't have these little toys, so they used to have archery. How many of you know how to use archery? You like archery? Come to my place. We are very famous archerians. Okay, so they meditate and also do this. So they both were like playing the garden, and then this guy shot this swan. This is a swan, a beautiful bird. He shot it, and the bird came down, about to die. Siddhartha ran and pulled out the arrow from this bird, and he saved this bird. And Devadatta comes and says, "Hey, give me my bird. That's my bird." And Siddhartha says, "No, it's my bird." And they were fighting for the bird. But Siddhartha says, "Well, it's my bird because I saved its life." Devadatta says, "No, it's my bird because I killed it. I shot it." Okay, so this is the fight went on. So they went to the elders, to the elderly people, and to seek justice. So when they said, then the elder people said, life belongs to the one who saves it and not to the one who takes life or kills life. So that is how Siddhartha wanted. And from this day on, Devadatta became his biggest enemy. Okay, and later in the life, when he grew up, he tried to kill Buddha 2 times. Once he rolled a rock from the mountain, tried to kill him. And another time he left a wild elephant. You know wild elephant? Have you seen elephant? No? No. Oh my gosh. How many of you have not seen elephant? Only one? In Thailand you have white elephants. Yes? Do I have to tell you the entire land has white elephants? How many of you have seen white elephants? In the picture. How many of you have seen white elephants? No one? Where? When you were young, you saw. These namunas. Okay. All right. I've seen real white elephants in Burma, in Myanmar. Okay. And in Thailand and in Myanmar, they call white elephants as royal elephants. You know royal elephants? What do you mean royal? Elephants of the king. Elephants of the king. So, so this guy, Devadatta, left out a mad elephant towards Buddha to kill Buddha. But when the elephant came near Buddha, Buddha used his love and compassion, and suddenly the elephant became very friendly. So that is the story. So this is the story of Devadatta. This is how it began. They hate each other like anything. Okay, so this was his education. Siddhartha, his father never wanted him to be ascetic. Does your parents want you to be monks or nuns? How many of your parents always keep telling you, you should be a monk, you should be a nun? Anyone? Yes? Once in a life, yes. Once in a lifetime in Thailand. I'll tell you a story. Yes, your parent tells you to be a nun? Both of you, monks and nuns. Oh, so both of you want to be nuns. She tells you to be. Your mom says you should be nun, right? Oh, her. Okay, she's already preparing. You want to be nun? Why not? Okay. All right. Okay, in Thailand, what I like, the most is that you should be, for men, for us, they say like it's always nice to be a monk once in our lifetime. And if you become a monk once in your lifetime, then you get a good wife also. That's what they say in Thailand. Do they say? No. I've been a monk myself for 3 years. So when I came to Thailand, when I married my Thai wife, the first thing my father-in-law looked at me and said like, this Indian man, I don't like him. He didn't realize I'm a handsome man, Okay. So later when he realized that I'm a Buddhist and I was a monk for 3 years, he was very happy. Oh, he's a good man now. Okay. So in Thailand, I think most of the men, it is better to be a monk at least once in your lifetime. It could be 10 days to 1 month to 2 months. It doesn't matter. But at least. In Thailand, the belief is that if you become a monk once in your lifetime, what happens? Heaven, right. Your good karma of becoming a monk helps your parents to go to heaven. How many of you want to send your parents to heaven? How many of you want to send your parents to heaven?